Hello everyone, my name is Seema and welcome to this video. What are we discussing today? The topic for today's discussion is, can someone influence you from far? Well, many people have told me that when we live by ourselves, we are not in any problem. We're fine, right? Because no one's right next to us bothering us, forcing something on us, or of being a hindrance to our life in any way or form. Well, what they fail to realize is that people can influence us from far or nearby. Say, people in the US say that, oh, I've gone to Hawaii, but I don't still feel far from family in the US. Well, it's true in a way because what happens is family has a lot of influence on us, right? Even friends too. People we interact with mostly have leave an impression on us. How we feel and how we act and how we manage our life is quite dependent on that. But how people from far can influence you is when their belief system becomes your belief system, right? So that is when the problems start to happen. That is where it is a negative influence for you. And it can be a positive influence too. So I'll give you my own example. See, I'm here in the New York area, and my mom was in India. So she alone could make me feel happy no matter if I was going through the worst of my times. Her support, um, her wishes for me, her blessings for me, turned things around for me in my life. So if my son was going to get admitted into a college, she would say, don't worry, he'll get the best one. You will wait and see, and that would happen. And if I was like looking for a job, she said, oh, you'll get the best one, wait and watch, everything will be just fine, or things like that. And her blessings would unfold even though she was so far away from me. And she was really not looking into the details of what was being offered, but just giving me the feeling of well-being for me, because it was her beliefs that I would put in myself and expect the best out of a situation. On the same hand, I have other family members here who are always very, very negative about everything, right? And also on my side, right? People can be negative, but the problem is when that belief or that negativity I take as mine, that is when the problem happens. So say if I'm painting and I made lot of like nice paintings, right, and I am very happily showing it to them, and one of them will go, oh, these just sit around, they just collect, nothing will sell, this is a waste of time. Well, it was not until they said it, right? And it will not be so until I feel that way, or until I'm able to get that belief out of my system. But if I let that idea sink into me, where I start believing what the other person said, and I start thinking that, oh, these paintings will sit around, nobody's ever going to buy it, and they'll just sit there collecting dust, and I'm really wasting my time painting. If my thought pattern changes that way, then the outcome for everything in my life will be all negative. So this is a very important point, right? So I'm just giving you one example, but that can be true in many other ways, right? If somebody says, oh, you're so good for nothing, you will start feeling, oh, you're so good for nothing. If somebody says you are you're a bad person, you will start believing you're a bad person, just because they said it and you believed it. You'll start thinking you're a bad person, although you know in your heart of heart you're the best person who always means well for other people. So be careful when somebody says something to you. It's okay to hear from one ear and take it out of the other. But if you let that stay in your, come from the ear and go into your heart, then you are going to take, it's going to stay there, and you will start believing that, and then the outcome of everything in your life will be based on that belief, because that has now, this other person's belief has now become yours, and it's like that's sitting in your system. And then from that you're trying to manifest, then this belief will not help you manifest good things in life. So be careful whose belief system you let yourself integrate into, okay? And when somebody says something, weigh it and see if that person who's saying whatever they're saying are credible enough or are not to be making that kind of a statement, to make sure they're coming from a place of non-judgment, from a place of no jealousy for you, no, and not being envious of you. Only then accept what they are saying for yourself and to let that belief sink in. Otherwise, just brush it off, because you know what, dogs bark and you don't stop walking, right? They just keep barking and you keep walking away. So let people say whatever they're saying, as long as you don't hold it on in you and make it your own belief, things will be fine, right? So whether a person is far or close, whether they are continents away, or whether they live next door, if you don't let their belief system become your belief system, then they will not bother you. But they could be far, and yet if you let the belief system integrate with yours and become yours, then you're in trouble. Then you will have to suffer the consequences of that bad belief that other person has projected onto you. That is actually their insecurity, that is actually their problem, that is actually their life's lesson, that they have now just put it on you. That burden that they were carrying on their head, they've put it on your head for you to carry now. And now you'll have to carry their burden, and your shoulders will hurt and your back will hurt, and you'll not know what's going on, because your inner child has been crushed. And you don't know to be yourself anymore. You don't know what it means to be yourself, because you are living a life of projection of the other person's belief. And the spontaneity with which you used to paint, or the happiness with which you used to paint, has gone away. Now you're putting dollars on everything that you're making, which is not healthy for anything in life. If you just follow your passion, things happen, money comes, opportunities come, things happen. But if you are creating out of lack of joy, of fear, then nothing good will come out of any situation in life. So I was just giving you an example of painting, but this is true for anything that you want to pursue. And for anyone who's a naysayer in your life, don't let their belief system become yours. Okay, hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.